Hello and welcome to my channel. So glad you decided to tune in today. My name is Kathy. I'm going to be your host today. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to this page. And hit that notification button down below so you can be notified when I post new videos. Alright, if you're interested in what we're going to be working on today, stay tuned. So, welcome back. So today I went into the stash and I pulled out a beautiful pattern that I love. I've already made several of these. This is a Marcy Tilton. I love her work. She has very different patterns. They're just unique and I love to make her patterns. So she makes patterns for Vogue. So this is Vogue 8876. I am going to be making view C, but however, view C has buttons. I think view C has, no, view A and B. I'm going to be making view B with view C sleeves. I'm sorry. I'm going to be making view A with view C's sleeves. Okay? So, if you want to know what you need, wait, we're going to tell you what all the pattern pieces you're going to need for this outfit. And I want to show you this fabric first. Look at that Ankara fabric. Isn't that pretty? It's a nice purple, deep purple, and that mustard yellow in there, and that looks like a dark brown. Yeah. So I got this fabric from, actually I got it by accident from Fabric USA. And what happened was I was making a prom dress. They ended up not having enough, so I just told them to throw me some Ankara fabric in there. And this is what I got. Got 2.5 yards of it. So I'm going to make this beautiful dress with that. So to get back to the pieces you're going to need. You're going to need two of pattern piece number 2. You're going to need 2 of pattern piece number 3, which is your side front. You're going to need 2 of your, and I did this in a contrasting fabric, it's the yoke. You're going to need 2 of these, the yoke. Then you're going to need 2 of pattern piece number 5, this is your back. And you should have cut this on the fold. Make sure you're making your markings, guys. Then you're going to need 2 of pattern piece number 6. This is the back. Okay. Then you're going to need 2 of pattern piece 7. This is the yoke back. And if you notice, I did a contrast inside. So I was running out of fabric, guys. Then you're going to need 4 of your pocket sleeves. This dress has pockets, guys. I love when the dress has pockets. That is so cool. So you're going to need 4 of these. Cut 4 of these. Make sure you're making your notches. Then you need cut 2 of these on the fold. How that got over there. These are your back hem. This is the back. This is the extension part of the dress. Can you see that? That's the extension. Otherwise it would really be short. But that gives it that little, it gives it a little curve out. Like almost like a little balloon look. So you cut 2 of these on the fold. Then you need 2 of your front pieces. You need to cut 2 of those. That's your front. Pattern piece 15, I'm sorry. Then you need, I started getting low, y'all. I had to do some patching. But it worked. I mean, a lot of this is patched up and put on there. But I already got my interfacing on here. I have to patch that too. I ran out. So, it's okay to patch. Okay? So, you need 2 of these. This is your collar. Isn't that cool? You're going to pleat that. And it's going to be like a little tulip collar. That's, y'all know I like high collars. So, 2 of these. Then, for your sleeve, pattern piece 17, I use that. And you need 2 of these, and it's going to be a 3/4 inch sleeve. You need 2 of those. And last but not least, you need to cut 2 This is the front hem band. So you got to cut 2 of these. And it says contrasting, but you don't have to cut contrasting. It says cut 2 of these. Okay? So you can do it differently. I don't know if you've noticed that on the pattern. See, that's different. So that's what that's saying. You can do a contrast for that. So those are the pattern pieces you're going to need. So let's get started. Okay, so we're back. So what you're going to do now, you grab pattern piece number 15. This is your front piece. Okay, so you can see right here it says facing, and you see that line going all the way down. What you got to do on your fabric is, because we're doing a zipper on this one instead of buttons, you're going to fold that all the way down, and if you need to, you're going to turn that in, or you can use your scissors like I'm going to use mine and just use my pinking shears. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to turn that in, and if you need a guide, put your pattern piece back on there, or you can clip it at each end. This is what I'm going to do. Mine. Put a pin at each end so I'll know how much to turn in. So turn that in backwards, and then you're going to take it over to your sewing machine and press it down. Then take it over to your iron and press it down. I'm going to press that down. Let me kind of show you how this looks. Okay. This is your front facing piece. Okay. Let me show you. Alright, you see that? How that is, how I turn that inside. Look how it looks on the outside. Can you imagine both of these together? This is how it's going to look to kind of give you a visual. Can I do that one? Let's imagine that like that. And then imagine your zipper. You're going to sew your zipper down in the middle of that. So, first thing you got to do, go over, give it a press at the ironing board. Then give you a stitch going straight down on each one of these. When you get done with that, we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. So we have sewn these down, as you can see. I mean, not sewn them down, but I did not give mine a stitch straight down because I want to make sure, because I already got to stitch it again because of the zipper. So, as you can see, I'm laying the front pieces right up against that zipper. Right up against that zipper. You're going to do that and line it up for both of these. Right up against that zipper. And this called for a 26-inch zipper. However, I could only find a 24-inch zipper, so it should be fine. So, what you're going to do, you're going to give it a stitch as close as you get. It's about 1/8 of an inch. You're going to give it a stitch straight down on both of these sides of your front facing, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and so this is how it should be looking. You should have your zipper on there, and let me show you. You should have a separating zipper as well. See? Zip that right up. That is your front. You have your front done. So now, all you gotta do is you can move that out of the way for right now. That part's done. Now you grab pattern piece number 2. This is the other part of, this is the middle front of the pattern. So you should have made your markings, and it was some really weird markings, as you can see. See that? That's a pleat. You're gonna have to make that pleat right there in the middle of that. It's gonna give it a cute little look though. So let me find mine. I feel like I used a white marker. So if your pieces are not, for some reason mine is not looking right, I'm not finding them, and I think it's because this fabric is so busy. So all you got to do if you're not finding your pieces is mark them again. Mark them again. That's all you got to do. think they're on there. It's just for some reason I am not finding mine. Mark them again. Okay. So, once you have those marked, see, I didn't mark those and I'm still not seeing. Okay, I'm thinking that's it. So, when you got a busy pattern, fabric, you gotta really be careful. Okay, I think I got that there. Man. Okay, there's a dot and there's a dot. And there's a dot. So what I'm gonna do is get a pen and try to bring them over that way. Okay, that worked out. So now I know what I gotta do for both of these is first what you're gonna do in the pattern is saying stay stitch here, and just from these two notches, I think that's what it's telling you to do. Yeah, these two notches to stay stitched in between there, and then stay stitched straight down in between these two notches. See these two notches? Stay stitched that, and then stay stitched down on both of these, okay? And then we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. So you should have stay stitched here and down here to the between the notches on both of these. Then you should have made your markings. Remember that weird look dart? You should have came down, stay stitched, double notched back. This is what I did here. I went over and I pressed it, and look at there, it's got a nice little pleat. It's a nice little pleat now you have there. So now what you do is you're going to grab your piece that you just put over to the side, and we're getting ready to connect these. So you're going to turn that over, find your notches. You should have some notches on here. There's a notch there, and there's your notch there. So you're going to connect and those notches. Okay. The pen. Now you're going to have to ease some of this in because this is your breast point. And then you just follow along with your pins all the way down on both sides, all the way down, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Now, since we have connected our fronts, our side front, all of that together, now what we're going to do, we're going to grab pattern piece number 3. This is your side front. Grab that piece. And what we're going to do is we're going to connect those. Connect those at the shoulder seams up here. Okay? Connect, connect, connect. All the way down. We're going to do a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, and we'll be right back. Okay, so now that we have connected piece 3, and now you got all 3 of your side fronts connected, 1, 2, 3, and your zipper on. Now what we're going to do is grab pattern piece number 4, which is our yoke front. It's our yoke front. And so this is how the yoke front goes. It's like that. And let's see here. Okay. Is that right? For some reason. Okay. Tell y'all, when you're working with these pattern pieces like this, it can get confusing as to how these pieces go on here. So, I think I got it right now. Yeah, I got it right now. So, what you're going to do is connect those, and then while you're over there, you grab your pocket pieces. Grab your pocket and you should have had your dots that you lined up. Connect your two pockets. Stitching. You find your little notch. You're going to line your pocket up with that notch, and then you're going to stitch straight down about 1/8 of an inch for both of those. You're only doing the two right now. First, you're going to do your yoke. Sew those on your yoke. Then you're going to sew your pockets, and we'll be right back. Okay, so now that we have connected our top yoke and we've connected our two pockets, I told you to connect. Let's put this to the side. And we're going to grab pattern piece number, the back. Remember, you cut pattern piece number 5 on the fold. You're going to grab that. And you should have put, see that? That's a pleat you're getting ready to make. That large dot there up to the large dot there. And what you're going to do is from the inside. Is that the inside? Yeah. From the inside, what you're going to do, fold that out from the outside. You find your dots. You find my dots. Here's my dot here. And then I'm going to take it straight up and give me a pleat there. Once I take that straight up and give me a pleat there, and fold it back out. And then I'm going to grab my pattern piece number 6. Pattern piece 6. Get your pattern piece 6. We're doing 2 things at once, okay? All you're doing on here on the back is from the large dot to the large dot, you're making your pleat. And then what you're going to do is we're going to connect pattern piece 6 to pattern piece 5 at your notches, okay? Making sure you're leaving your arm things out so you make sure you're sewing it the right way, okay? So what we're going to do is 5/8 of an inch seam allowance straight down on both of those. Give it a press and we'll be right back. Okay, so we have those pieces connected, piece 5 and 6 connected. We got our pleat ironed in there, all that. And as you notice, I've added my pockets already. I haven't sewn them down yet. I've added them. Now what I'm going to do is add my yoke to the back. And I did a contrasting yoke, remember, because I told you I ran out of fabric. So I did a contrasting yoke. So what you do now for your yoke pieces is you just find your notches and you line up your notches first. Okay? What you're going to do for that. I got some stretch in there. So I don't think I did enough. Yes, I did. It's just play in there. Okay. So then what you do is you just sandwich your piece 5 and 6 in between your 2 yoke pieces. That's all you got to do. Sandwich those in between your 2 yoke pieces. Okay. There's a little play in there, so just put a pin there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go over to your machine, so 5/8 of an inch seam allowance there, and do about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance on the pockets, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we have connected the yoke front and the yoke back, and we've connected our pockets. And now what you're going to do, you're going to grab your front piece that you have. Grab your front piece. And what we're going to do, going to connect these together at your the fronts, at the lining. At the shoulder seams. Okay? So what you do is you just connect those. Connect those at the lining. Then what you do is you're going to take your back lining, fold that over once you get that done, and you're going to sew and do a stitch straight down there. Also, we're going to take the sides, go 5/8 of an inch seam allowance straight down till you get to your pocket. Skip that. Come back down past the pockets, 5/8 of an inch. And remember, we sew our pocket rounds last. Be right back. Okay, so now that we have our dress basically put together, whole thing is put together, the front and, well, we got to do our end pieces, our sleeves, but the dress is basically together, the front and the back pieces anyway. So now what you can do is you can put this to the side. And now what you're getting ready to do is we're going to work on our collar, okay? And our collar. You take your pattern piece off. And as you can see, I already have mine right side to right side. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go over to your sewing machine. And you're going to start at the top here. Stitch, pivot all the way around. Pivot and come there. And then trim all the excess off. When you do that, we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. Now that we have our collar stitched together, we've shaved the inside out to get rid of that fullness. And now I made my buttonhole. I haven't made the buttonhole. I just made where the buttonholes are gonna go. So now what you're going to do, you're going to grab your dress, and what we're gonna do is get our fronts together. So what you do, and match up your notches. The notches are matched up, okay? Go over to the other side and match your notches, okay? For some reason, let me grab my pins, guys. Got my pins. Okay, so I'm ready. All my pins were over at the sewing machine where I started taking them out of my fabric set. Okay, so now what you do is you're just going to start pinning this collar down. Okay, just going to start pinning it down all the way across. If you need fullness, if you're coming up where you got fullness in there, you need to make sure you're just stretching it until you get your fullness all eased in, okay? So we're going to ease all of that in. When we get done easing that in, we're going to sew it 5/8 of an inch seam allowance across. We'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, I have the neck, the collar on here. The collar is really cute. It stands up, comes around kind of like in a, kind of encapsulates you in there. So got that collar on there. I haven't added my button yet, so I'm going to add the button to that at some point. Now we're going to put this to the side. I'm going to grab our sleeves, and if you were watching earlier, well, I hope you've been watching, the sleeves I had to take some of them off to add for my yoke. So my sleeves are going to be shorter. So now what we're going to do, and then I got to straighten them out now because now I've lost some sleeve in there. So now what I'm going to do, just straighten that sleeve out. Okay? Just straighten that sleeve out on both of these. And once turn it that way. Once I straighten that sleeve out on both of those, I'm going to sew it down 5/8 of an inch seam allowance straight down. And then I'm going to connect my sleeves. Once I connect my sleeves, we're going to start on the bottom piece. We'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. Now we have our bottom of the dress sewn on. I don't know if you can see that. It's sewn on completely all the way around. So now we've sewn our lining piece together. and I did a contrasting piece for my lining. Okay, so now what you're gonna do, grab your dress, turn it right sides up, okay, just like you did before. Grab your end, one of your ends, it doesn't matter which one. Now come over and kind of put your lining on here the exact way you put your dress on, piece onto your dress, and we're going to start it at the bottom. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to start at the bottom. I'm going to start at the bottom, go all the way around, and I'm going to even go up, fold that down. Okay, I'm going to fold that little piece down so I'll have my flap when I come back over. So fold that down at your hemline, stitch straight down, pivot around, all the way around, do the same for the other side, and then you're going to take it, this is the starting of your hem. When you flip it out, back over, give it a press, iron that down real good, pin it or whatever, and then stitch it along that seam line. It's called stitch in the ditch. Stitching in the ditch is you're going to stitch straight in that ditch. That's a ditch. That seam line is a ditch. And we'll be right back. Okay, so I tell you, that hem got me going. What I did was, I finally got, sew that back on there. Anyway, I finally got my hem in there, and I ended up doing my hem a different way. I ended up just leaving it straight down. I did not connect it at the bottom. This fabric and me and the way it was twisted around, it was not working. So this is the way I ended up doing mine. So it at least it's down there. It is connected. Then I added, you know, my sleeves were short. I ended up adding a little flare on my sleeve on the end. All I gotta do is add my label. Got my pockets in there and everything. This dress is finished. If you want to see the finished look, stay tuned. But before you do that, please like, share, and subscribe. Peace, love, and blessings to you all. Have a blessed day.